rare and old pictures of the legend Undertaker.
I was always just enthralled by mystery and scare, the WWE icon known for decades as The Undertaker said of his childhood. When I was a kid, it was more theater of the mind. Later on, the movies, they kind of went into full gore and didn't leave anything for you to think about. They showed you everything. But early on, they would cut things off and just kind of let your mind figure it out. Soul was always fascinated, even with death. In later years, Undertaker's backstory explained that he grew up in a funeral home, then one day burned it to the ground with his brother, Kane, and his parents inside. Kane managed to survive, thanks to pallbearer, and years later, the high-pitched manager brought the Big Red Machine to WWE for revenge. While many assumed that this wrestler adopted the name The Undertaker from the beginning of his career, this was not the case and he went through a bunch of different ring names throughout his career. His time in the World Class Championship Wrestling Federation saw him being known as Texas Red. After spending 5 years at World Class Championship Wrestling, he was signed to World Championship Wrestling, WCW, in 1989 and adopted the name Mean Mark Callis, though his contract with this federation only lasted 1 year. 1989 was not just a big year in his career, he married his first wife, Jody Lynn. The wrestler's career took off when he was signed to the World Wrestling Federation, WWF, which in 2002 became known as World Wrestling Entertainment, WWE, in 1990. This commitment would see the wrestler become a star in the WWE world for the next 30 years, as his contract lasted up until 2020. He first became known as Kane the Undertaker in his debut in the Survivor Series in 1990-1991 was a massive year for the star as he defeated Hulk Hogan to become the youngest WWF champion at the time. He would go on to win some matches and series, taking home World Championship titles during the early 1990s, though the later part of this decade saw the star take a step back thanks to the injuries he sustained over his career. This was not the end of the wrestler's career as many assumed, and in the early 2000s, he came back with a vengeance, winning the WWF Hardcore Championship in 2001. He also married his second wife around this time, a woman named Sarah Frank. The later part of this decade saw the wrestler winning more titles, though he did also divorce Frank and he is currently married to Michelle McCool.
If you like this video, make sure to subscribe to my channel.